We are back with another tactical creation from the always amazing GYR, and it is yet another Marvel-themed masterpiece. Today we have Guardians of the Goalie. We have tested this with Celtic. They did go on to win a domestic treble. Of course, it is Celtic, and they actually got over 100 in terms of their goal difference. We tested this with Peterborough United. They did go on to win 𝘼𝙗𝙤 League 1 with over 100 points, and they also did pick up a Papa John's trophy as well. We tested this with Napoli as well. They did go on to win the 𝘼𝙗𝙤. They did also win the 𝘼𝙗𝙤 with the caveat that 𝘼𝙗𝙗𝙤 was transferred to Chelsea in the January transfer window without any touching of ours. He just left, which was great. We weren't allowed to deny that transfer for £86 million. So the top goal scorer in the league in 𝘼𝙗𝙤 was 𝘼𝙗𝙤, an Italian that I do quite like. But you can see the Napoli have done pretty well here. They did beat AC Milan to the title by 10 points. And then in this 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙤 final, they absolutely annihilated Jose Mourinho's Roma with a 4-1 victory. If we take a look at the tactic, guys, we are going to break this down, but these are the players, the best picked players for this tactic with Napoli, obviously with 𝘼𝙗𝙗𝙤's departure. You can see Raspadori with 22 goals, 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙤 with 19, Lozano with 14, Zielinski with 13 as well. You can see the goals have kind of been balanced around this team with Osimhen's departure. He did score 10 in 14 as well, so he was doing quite well at the start of this. We're going to go through and break everything down though, but before we do so, guys, if you do enjoy the tactics, drop a like on the video and go and check out GYR. His links are all down in that description. We are going to talk first and foremost about the goalkeeper. That is a sweeper keeper on defensive duty with the additional instructions, guys, of tackle harder. You know which ones are the additional ones because they have the white cog and the red circle next to it. And you get to them by hitting that edit button there, and you can see that it is selected with the tackle harder there on that goalkeeper. It's got that green outline, so you know it's selected. Moving into the fullbacks, let's talk about the right fullback and the left fullback because they are both fullbacks on support duty with the same additional instructions, guys. So we have the additional instructions of run wide with the ball, get further forward, sit narrower, and tackle harder. We are kind of trying to compact that middle of the defensive area, obviously with the fullback sitting wider, but when they get the ball, they are instructed to run wider with it. In terms of the two centre-backs, guys, we have two ball-playing defenders on defensive duty with the same additional instructions as well. We have dribble more and tackle harder on these two. Moving into the midfield trio, rather than having the one defensive midfielder and the two CMs, we have two defensive midfielders and one central attacking midfielder. 𝘼𝙗𝙗𝙗 is the first player that we're going to talk about. He is a defensive midfielder on support, guys. This is probably my favourite role that you can have for a defensive-minded DM in this year's game, in my opinion. He has the additional instructions of hold position and tackle harder. Alongside him, we have 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙗. He is a segundo volante on support. The segundo volante, the saviour of this year's game. I'm a big fan of the segundo volante this year. No additional instructions on him. Moving into the attacking one of the three, the central midfielder on attack. No additional instructions on him as he will already be getting further forward. Moving into the winger positions, they are slightly different, guys. So on the right hand side, we have an inverted winger on attack duty with no additional instructions on him. Then moving across to 𝘼𝙗𝙗𝙗 on the left hand side, he is an inside forward on attack duty with the additional instructions of sit narrower and tackle harder. Moving up to the striker, it's the one and only role you can kind of select up top this year. Advance forward on attack with the additional instruction of tackle harder. We do have a custom tactical style here, but if you select this, it doesn't really matter. Whichever one of these you select, I would either go with clean slate or gegenpress. I don't think it really matters. In terms of the mentality, if you hit that positive mentality, that is the one we are looking for with this tactic. And in possession, this is how we are looking. A fairly wide attacking width. We are passing into space with a shorter passing directness, a slightly higher tempo with low crosses into that final third, and we are running at the defense in terms of our dribbling style. In transition, guys, this is how we're looking. We are counter pressing when possession has been lost, and we are countering when the possession has been won. You can see the arrows of the players that are going to start the counters as and when you win the ball. So the central midfielder is going to fly up the field, as are the two fullbacks in this particular instance. We are distributing quickly in terms of our goalkeeper distribution, and we are rolling it out. We're not selecting anybody. We're letting the goalkeeper make that decision for himself, but he is rolling the ball out. In terms of out of possession, guys, this is how we're looking. We are a high press with that line of engagement. We are a standard defensive line. We are triggering that press much more often and preventing that short goalkeeper distribution. And in terms of our tackling style, we are getting stuck in. If you are picking up too many yellow cards because of the tackle harder and the get stuck in, just turn this one off. Leave the tackle harder on the individual players. If you do like tactics on the channel, guys, check out this playlist here. It's all the tactics that G has released on this year's game.